Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, guys. In this video, we're going to be responding to Brother Abdurrahman from TAP, Brother Jake's friend. We're going to be reacting to one of his videos, and I just want to pick out one part on issues related to like creation ex nihilo, and other related topics. Okay, so you can see from the title, creation ex nihilo and divine purpose. Okay, so I just want to respond to one part of this entire 1 hour long video of just, in my own opinion, it doesn't have any substance. It's just like picking what you like to respond to and then responding to that, while, what's it called, avoiding the real problems. And when I pointed this out to him, he was avoiding it. He was like, hey, stick to the points made in the video. I get it. You can just create your own safe space and make weak arguments, and then you declare yourself a winner over those weak arguments. But when real objection comes, why are we really against this position that you're bringing? What is this entire thing about? So he's like, this is the argument that we responded to it and refuted it. No, you didn't. So anyway, I'm going to be responding to one part of this video. So it's the first point when you wanted to start defending, responding to the critics. So let's get into it.
Form the foundation of critics' interpretation of that passage. Now, armed with the context we've explored so far, we're now going to address these claims one by one in relation to the passage, starting with the first claim that creation requires a material substance. So again, something like clay that, God would shape into a new thing, subhanahu wa ta'ala. We can confidently say that this is not what Ibn Taymiyah means. And this is like the easiest point to rule out, because in the very same section, he explicitly rejects this idea. He writes, and I quote, "The matter from which the second entity is created undergoes corruption, transmutation, and dissipation. And God brings forth the second entity, originating and creating it without any remainder of the first, neither in matter, form, substance, or accents." Unquote. So in simple terms, Ibn Taymiyyah is clear that when something or the prior thing is destroyed, it ceases to exist entirely. Its matter, form, and qualities are completely gone. So this rejection of the Falsafi and Kalami understanding of persistence and of matter and creation was central to Ibn Taymiyyah's critique, right? It's central to his critique of both the Ash'aris and the Falasifa. And against this, Ibn Taymiyyah emphasizes that true creation involves bringing forth entirely new substances and not merely rearranging or transforming what already exists in that atomist or hylomorphic sense. So just to conclude our response to this first formulation of the objection, if the claim that God needs matter to create suggests that the material substance of the next thing is provided by a previous thing, then Ibn Taymiyyah directly rejects and refutes this idea. His view, which is laid out clearly.
Anyway, yeah. So you guys get the point of the argument. Now we're going to respond to the points that was made there. So the first part I want you to pay attention to, let me just see, like I can make 3 points, okay? The first one is like the prior substance, okay? Okay, and yeah, let's just talk about that. So he's describing what Ibn Taymiyyah apparently said on this issue, that let's say this is one substance A, another substance B, okay, and so on and so forth, right? C, and like that. And of course there's one before A too, because it's infinite into the past. Remember, never forget that. Now, what is the point of this objection exactly? Is this what the critics are really saying? That God needs one substance to create another? Okay, fine. It seems to be like what is, according to what he just said there, Ibn Taymiyyah is saying, let's say this is substance A, and then substance B is the next one that is created, right? That you don't, in matter, form, and accident. Okay, so A is completely annihilated, completely destroyed. So if A is completely destroyed at a particular moment, let's say T1, A is completely destroyed, is matter, form, and accident is completely gone. Where is B coming from? Can B be said to come from A, really? Like, do you get what I'm saying? Let's say this is A and nothing subsists from A, and B is originated. Can you say, in the way that they want to say it anyway, that B is from A, or God is creating B from A? Can you say that? Not really, because there's like what is this? It's completely cut off. There's nothing about A that brings about B. Also, how is this not like creation ex nihilo, which apparently they are against? Because B is completely not from A in any way whatsoever. The only relationship between A and B is that at T2 now, at T2 there's B. At T1 there was no B. At T2 there is B. How is that not creation ex nihilo? Do you get what I'm saying? Is that really their position? I don't even understand at this point. Like, are you saying that A is completely destroyed and B is originated after A? Therefore, what is your point exactly? That is ex nihilo, in my own opinion. What do you guys think? Is it not ex nihilo? Because B is not from anything about A. B just comes up at T2 and it chronologically just follows A. So B follows A. It's just like this. See, A, B, C, D. So the only relationship between A and B is that B follows A, but not that B is made from A. That is ex nihilo. Argue with me. Okay, it's ex nihilo. B is created from nothing. A is created from nothing too at each moment. So T1, T2, etc. That is who is against that? Nobody's against that, by the way. We're not against that. What we are against, I think, because what is the substance of the argument really is this, in my own opinion. You are saying that, what's it called? That A must necessarily be there before B. I think that's what you are saying. A must be there before B comes. B cannot just come without anything prior, which is the falsity of your argument, which is like just about that infinite past thing. Infinite past. Okay? This is what you hold on to. We believe A can come up from no prior cause. A can just pop up, boom. B2 can just pop up from nowhere, just come into existence because God commands it to be. Anything can just come into existence at any moment for any reason that God decides. You see, you are saying no. Before B, there must be A. And before A, there must be something else. And then there must be something else. And then there must be something else. And there's no first one, which is the point of the Hawadis Awalala thing. But the interesting thing is that your position seems to be with this annihilation and origination thing is just like ex nihilo too. The only thing that you are committing yourself to is that saying that there must be a prior thing that follows, that in order, like orderly, they follow each other. That's the only difference. We don't believe there has to be A before B. Do you understand? We believe there can be B before there can be B out of nowhere, because we believe there's an actual first creation. Okay, this is the difference between us. Okay, them, they don't believe there's a first creation, which is hadith and many other proofs that scholars have said on this. If you don't believe there's a first creation, then you fall into this. You just believe infinite to the past. Creation has always been there. Because whatever time you point to, there will always be a creation there. There has never been a time when there's no creation. That's what your position leads to, which is rubbish. Which is heresy, right? Because the creation will be eternal into the past. There's nothing you can say about that. Anyway, even though it will be dependent, it will just be eternal to the past. We will believe there's an actual first creation. There's nothing before that. And after that, they then follow themselves, like in order, like that. But A is actually the first one. You don't believe there's a first creation. We will believe. So A, B, C, D, they don't follow each other according to God's will, that they follow each other. And there's no necessity that B must come from A, like independent of God willing it to be. Okay, so I think, what do you guys think about this argument? I feel like that first point that you just made there, first of all, it shows that the position of this annihilation and origination thing, if it has nothing to do with the matter, form, and accident of the prior substance, is just the same thing as ex nihilo creation. Okay, so B will be coming into existence without any substance of it being existent before. Do you understand what's going on? See, let me make it clear for you. A is existing at T1. Now, B starts to exist as T2. This B, where is it made from? God's will. Okay? God commands B into existence without using anything from A. That's what they're saying. Without using anything from A. Any matter, form, or accident of A. So, what is the relationship between A and B? The only relationship is that they follow each other. They follow each other. So, B came after A, not the other way around. That's the only relationship. And I'll add, because me too, like, we don't have any problem with this per se. Because the only difference, we focus more on how things appear to the human being. So when a human being is looking at B coming into existence after A, it will form a link of causation, which is fine. You will form a link of causation that this is causing this. So you feel like A causes B. Okay? But you don't understand that there's no necessity between them. It's only God's will. Okay? Do you understand? Like, that's the only difference. We understand, one, that the only relationship is the order. Okay? The order. A is before B and B is after A. And two, from a POV, from a human POV, you will form causation. Okay? You will not be able to detect that they don't follow each other necessarily, or one is coming from absolute nothing, because every moment we believe is from nothing. So you will not be able to detect it coming from nothing. All you will know is that from your own, without thinking about it, you will assume that they are causing each other, and it is a fine normal human lens of looking at things. There's nothing wrong with that. You just need to know that it's subjective to the human being. That's all. We are talking about transcendental stuff. We're talking about from, like, what's it called? Not just from a human point of view. That's why we say that, like, there's no, what's it called? Necessary cause between them. But anyway, what do you guys think about this argument? Do you think, what is the point, by the way? What is your point even? I don't even understand at this point. Because if the critic objection to you is that God needs a material cause for B to exist, and you're saying no, God does not need material cause for B to exist, fair enough. Yeah, you're right. No one can, like, your argument works, because it's actually ex nihilo creation that you're talking about. However, here's not the problem. If you want to make the further argument that, you see, A and B, what the critic will say to you is that God needs A before B will exist. In the order, okay? In order or something. Like, there's a necessity that B must be before A, in a way, in some kind of sense. You get, like, B cannot be without anything before it. So your metaphysical commitment is that for anything to exist, to come into existence, okay? For anything to come into existence, there must be something prior. Do you get? For anything to exist, there must be something prior to it. And that one too, there must be something prior to it. And that one too. And it goes back infinitely. Which is your position. Like, that would be the objection that the critic will make. Not necessarily about the persistence of material substance. That is a more stronger argument, in my own opinion, to address, rather than talking about some, material cause, which your position actually is ex nihilo. Like, come and explain. I don't understand. Like, do you guys defend? Is it not ex nihilo? Like, I asked him a question about, between A and B, is there a duration between them? Like, is there some kind of duration between A and B? This one is annihilated at T1, and this one comes into existence at T2. Is there a duration between them? I was asking him that question. I wanted to see, like, I don't get, are they defending ex nihilo creation? It seems to be that this is ex nihilo creation, which they are against. So the only thing that we will reject from them is this infinite to the past thing, which would mean that there's no actual first creation, which I showed here. And Muslims believe in actual first creation. They believe in an infinite past. Therefore, there can never be one creation that you say, this is the first one God created. No, that first one, it must have one prior to it. Even if it's not materially created from it, it must be prior to it. So that is the real objection that we can make. Not the one about, is there persistence of substance? No. The real one is that, can God create something without anything prior to it? You see, they don't believe this. They cannot accept that. God cannot create something without something not being prior to it. Okay, so that is the next objection we'll just make. And if you try to like to avoid this, you end up defending the Ash'ari position. In my own opinion, the more you try to avoid this, the closer you get to the Ash'ari position, because now it already seems like you're defending ex nihilo creation with this your annihilation and origination thing. But like, what do you guys think? Anyway, I'm just making this video. I don't even know if I'll post it, but what do you guys think? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.